What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Night Owl channel, and welcome to the 5th episode of the Dynasty Warriors character analysis series. In this episode, we go over Zhou Cang, the fastest character in the game. And if any character in the game even remotely uses a word that resembles the word speed, Zhou Cang will turn into a roid rage, horse-picking up monster of a demon.
Must move swiftly.
Swiftly?
Swiftly?
And with that being said, guys, let's learn about the speed demon known as Zhou Cang. Zhou Cang is a fictional general of the Yellow Turbans who pledges loyalty to Guan Yu after hearing his exploits. He is known as a masterful swimmer and a swift runner who could travel the same distance as Red Hair in a single day. He's been a generic officer since the second Dynasty Warriors game, but in Dynasty Warriors 9, Zhou Cang finally gets a chance to become a playable character. He was actually made a playable character in the Warriors All-Stars game. He officially makes his Dynasty Warriors appearance in Dynasty Warriors 9. And with that being said, let's let Dynasty Warriors 9 introduce the speed demon Zhou Cang.
Zhou Cang. He was a powerful man who also possessed unparalleled speed. Formerly a member of the Yellow Turbans, he was deeply impressed by Guan Yu after being defeated by him in battle. After the Yellow Turban Rebellion was put down, he lived his life as a bandit on Mount Wonyu. It was there that he came across Guan Yu, who had just left Cao Cao's army. He followed after his hero, determined to become one of his greatest disciples.
Strong and loyal, Zhou Cang prides himself on his speed. He tends to be positive and upbeat, though he is uneasy towards Zhao Yun due to a prior misunderstanding between both of them, also because Zhao Yun defeated him in the Yellow Turban Rebellion. You can see his concern for joining the Shu army because Zhao Yun is a part of the army.
Oh, but that Zhao Yun, Master Zhao Yun is also a part of the army. Every time I think of his face, I get goosebumps. It's real hard to shake off first impressions, I guess.
So then, Cao Cao's great southern campaign has begun.
I took a little trip out to scout their forces, and I gotta tell you, he's got some serious numbers. They look as scary as Master Zhao... nothing.
Zhou Cang, are you still frightened of Master Zhao Yun?
So as you can see, Zhou Cang is completely intimidated by Zhao Yun being on the same team now after he was defeated by Zhao Yun. You know, he can see the fear and probably respect for Zhao Yun as a warrior. Now, his story is not long in general. It's actually one of the shortest stories that I've done so far, out of all the characters I've done so far. But in the beginning, he doesn't have too much to his story. He kind of makes a couple comments every now and then, and he kind of centers around the whole Guan Yu disciple thing. Now, the reason that he doesn't make too many comments is because he doesn't seem to really have any pivotal roles until later in his story, which is later in history, towards the battles of like Fan Castle and, you know, battles that are heavily centered around Guan Yu. And Guan Yu, he actually dies at Fan Castle. So before the Battle of Fan Castle, all the battles leading up to Fan Castle with just Guan Yu and his army, because he was sent to Jing province by himself. You know, it was Guan Yu, his family, and not his family, but like his children, and then Zhou Cang was also there with him. But everything that led up to the Battle of Fan Castle, that's when Zhou Cang starts to really become more responsive and becomes more talkative with the people he's around. But before then, he's kind of quiet and doesn't really say much.
Can we expect any reinforcements from Yi province? If we are to lay siege to a castle, we will need plenty of manpower.
No, we are to do this alone. Not long has passed since we took Hangzhong, so the Shu forces in Yi province are still not ready to engage in battle.
Your children are really keen to get out there and fight, boss. I'll have to do my best to keep up with them.
Fan Castle. He wants us to make use of the river flowing nearby.
The recent rains have raised the water level of the river to the east of the castle. trust Master Zhuge Liang to notice that and incorporate it into his plan.
Okay, so the first clip that was shown was Guan Yu, Guan Ping, and Zhou Cang all talking about the preparations of going to Fawn Castle. Guan Ping was worried about if they're going to have, help getting there or help taking it down. Guan Yu said we're doing it by ourselves. And the second clip was when they all arrived there, and Guan Yu talking to his children, and Zhou Cang telling him, or formulating a plan in order to take down the castle. Okay, so they come up with a plan. They flood the castle. They take the castle, and then Zhou Cang's story actually comes to an end. Now, before those two clips, of course, there was a couple battles for Jing Province, for them to secure it, and there was a couple scenes where, Zhou Cang and Guan Yu were talking, but that's the main part of his story, and then it comes to an end. It was a really fast story. It was very, very quick, because at the Battle of Fawn Castle, that's when Zhou Cang actually dies. So after Fawn Castle was taken by Shu forces, Zhou Cang's story ends.
The army of Guan Yu has secured Fan Castle.
Well, did it seem to anyone else like the enemy forces were waiting for something during the battle? Reinforcements, perhaps, or maybe something else altogether.
Zhou Cang performed admirably at the Battle of Fan Castle. As a result, Guan Yu's army defeated Eugene and captured Pengde. Zhou Cang's admiration of Guan Yu deepened upon seeing him take on the Wei forces in a frontal assault. He also decided to continue following Guan Yu, no matter what lied ahead. Zhou Cang recalled the time that Guan Yu had presented him with a horse. Past, present, and future, Zhou Cang was determined to remain by Guan Yu's side.
Boss! This new horse! It does run pretty good!
Then I really don't have to hold anything back anymore.
Wait for me! Boss! It's no good. I can't catch him. It's okay. Gotta do what I gotta do. I swear I will accompany you to the ends of the earth!
So if you're watching this for the first time, just like I was when I first experienced, I was, one of them jaw-dropping moments that happen after you watch this scene. So Zhou Cang, so the beginning part was Guan Yu, talking to his children and Zhou Cang. They capture the castle, and then Zhou Cang makes a remark about, it's kind of like a foreshadowing thing. I don't like how they do that, but it's fine. He basically says, well, hey, it seemed like they were waiting for reinforcements. And then, of course, Wei and Wu show up and kill them all, but it's fine. But anyway, his story comes to an end because Zhou Cang actually dies at the Battle of Fawn Castle. Now, the way he dies, he doesn't get killed by an officer, but he actually sees when Guan Yu gets killed, they display his head. And, I don't know if they display it on a stick or something, but at some point, the Wei army displayed Guan Yu's head. They cut off his head and, was holding it up or whatever. And Zhou Cang saw it. And because of his, dying loyalty to Guan Yu, he actually kills himself after he sees it. The way his story ends in the video game is that, so Guan Yu is on his horse, red hair, which at the beginning of this episode, I told you that, Zhou Cang is able to run he's basically equal to running to that horse in a single day. The red hair can run up to 1,000 miles a day. According to legend and the history and the Romance of the Three Kingdoms, the book itself, the red hair can run up to 1,000 miles a day at a, whatever speed it runs at. So Zhou Cang is able to match that speed on his feet. That's what the character is basically built around. So at the end of his story, he is given a horse by Guan Yu, as the narrator said, and then he literally gets off the horse after Guan Yu, dust him with the red hair. He gets off of his horse and then picks up a 2,000-pound horse and runs with it. Like, this is probably the worst ending I have seen. Like, it would have been fine if he, like, ran by himself. But the developers thought it was a good idea that Zhou Cang could pick up the horse and run with it on its back. Not just, like, he's not struggling with it. I mean, I don't even know. I mean, it probably is physically possible for a man to pick up a horse, but to run at that speed with the horse with no problem, it's not falling over and everything. I know it's a video game and everything, but still, like, Dynasty Warriors is getting farther and farther away from realistic, and the reason... Anyway, the point is that ending was not one of my favorite endings. It was just awful. I just did not like how unrealistic it is, and I mean, really, they have to emphasize that he can run fast by picking up a horse and running with it. It was one of those draws, like, really? Like, that's what you want? That's what you guys came up with? Anyway, so Zhou Cang's story comes to an end. Like I said, he ends up dying at the Battlefound Castle, not from a warrior or from an army or someone shooting him or something with an arrow. He actually dies because he slits his own throat after he sees Guan Yu's head on display, which is crazy. So now we'll talk about Zhou Cang as the character himself. He's got an upbeat personality. He's very energetic. Of course, that goes with his ability to run fast and all that stuff. So no complaints on his voice acting because he didn't have a voice before this game. And then, of course, his weapon style is not terrible. It doesn't do a lot of the things I thought it was going to be that was associated with the character. It's not like a lot of like jumping and like slamming down and all that. It's a pretty like on the feet kind of thing. It's built on speed because that's what he is, and running through people and stuff like that. It's not the best weapon. It's not the worst weapon. It's a decent weapon. Can't complain too much about it. But other than that, I would say... he's an okay character. I like the character himself. I like, he's not too cocky or anything, but the whole like picking up the horse thing was just not for me. Honestly, I just don't know why they thought that was a good idea. It really, I just can't get over it. But other than that, I mean, his story was fine. I mean, I didn't mind going through it. It was really, really short. It's the shortest story I've done so far, like I mentioned in the beginning. So he is number 85. I've got 2 more new characters to do. I'm so excited to get to some of the old characters because then we get to see some of the older games and how they've actually changed. 2 more new characters to go, 5 down, and I hope you guys are enjoying the series so far. This is one of my favorite games of all times, and I hope you guys are enjoying the series. If you have enjoyed the series or enjoyed this video at all, definitely appreciate a like, comment, subscribe, and I will check you guys in the next episode of the Dynasty Warriors character analysis series. Thanks for watching, guys.